A severe thunderstorm watch continues for the listening area. Tonight, we'll see showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low of 70, with a chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow and a high of 91. I'm Patrick McMillan on News Radio WGNS. Right now, it's 82.
Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, a tag number run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
News Radio WGNS, Murfreesboro. The views and opinions on this show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of WGNS, its management, other hosts, or advertisers.
Good evening, everyone. Edwin Lee Raymer here with you. Ed Raymer with the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. I'm glad to be here with you. And I've got a special guest with us, and we're going to talk about something that affects all of us. And you may have heard him earlier. He was on Mike's show. And we're glad to have him with us. We're talking about your property tax tonight. And that is none other than your Rutherford County property assessor who's agreed to come up here and be with me, and I appreciate it. Rob Mitchell. Hello, Rob. Welcome back.
Hey, Ed. Thank you. I never leave.
You never leave. As you know, Rutherford County raised property tax. They voted to do that. This will go into effect, for 24 or as of July or 20?
It'll go into effect this year.
This year. It will go into effect.
Right. It goes into effect fiscal year July the 1st through June 30th. So the property values that were set roughly 2 years ago during reappraisal, your values have not changed.
Right.
But the tax rate has. So when you get your tax bills in October.
Right. Okay.
That's indicative of what it'll be. So,
and that generally is when you go into hiding, and you will not be here at the radio station.
I get sick. I get very sick.
I'll bet you do. Yeah, I understand. I love to have you up. I appreciate you doing this. We've known each other a while now. And if there's one thing I think you and I do have common ground, it is we all have to pay property tax. I wish we didn't, but we do.
Yep.
But, and ladies and gentlemen, we're not here tonight to assess blame or point fingers. That's not why we're here. Rob and I were talking, we have been for about the last 20, 30 minutes. And we're playing the most American of games. It's called catch up. And this county has got a lot of catching up to do.
I prefer mustard.
Mustard. Yeah, I think a lot of us do. Okay. And I'll tell you what, Jackson's on the board. He'll do a good job as always. We're going to kick this thing off right now, and we'll get started. And but for right now, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your good neighbor station, News Radio WGNS Murfreesboro.
And that is always a little stiff upper lip for you from ACDC. And yes, this is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show is produced at the studios of WGNS AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM. Right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now, you can reach me or Rob tonight with your questions, comments, or thoughts at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. Now, you can also send us a text to that number, and our producer, Jackson, here will be glad to read it over the air for you, or he'll write it down and give it to me or Rob. We'll be glad to read it for those of you that may not want to go on the air. If you're a little too high or too shy, we understand. Now, you can also go to News Radio WGNS on YouTube, and you can catch us there right now, live on YouTube. You can also reach us on Alexa. You can reach us many different ways. WGNSradio.com. All my shows there are on a podcast, but the YouTube thing has really taken off, and people like it. Now, you can also download the WGNS app on your phone and take WGNS with you wherever you go and listen whenever you wish. Now, I've got a couple of pieces of business to take care of here, and I'm going to do this right out of the gate. Last week, a good friend of mine and some of y'all's, Carrie Thompson, had called me, and I've known Carrie for some time, her and her family, and it seems that her son Reese had turned 10, Rob. Ooh. Yeah. A decade. Can you remember?
I was so excited to turn 10. It was the greatest thing in the
40
world.
40 seems so old, didn't it? Well, that's really old, 40. Yeah. Reese, happy birthday. And I want to tell you, folks, this is this young lady and her son. She really spends a lot of time with him, and they have the best time together. He plays baseball. He's a baseball player, and apparently pretty good. And we want to wish him a happy, belated 10th birthday. Carrie sent me that message by my phone, which, folks, I'm sorry I don't get a chance to look at my phone that much while we're here, between the phones going off and the questions and everything we're doing. Lots of times I'm in the car, I'm already at home before I get the message. So, Reese, happy birthday to you, and give your mom a big hug for me, and also your grandparents. They live here in town. And fine young man. And he's... and his mom was a pretty good gal, too. Not bad at all, I'll tell you. And now, I want to introduce you to, again, and another new sponsor for this show, Keep It Running Heating and Air, okay? Are you and your family, if you're looking for a local family-owned heating and cooling company, I want to introduce you to Joe at Keep It Running Heating and Cooling. Now, Joe's been at this for more than a dozen years, okay, in the field. I'm talking about the hard work. He and his company, Keep It Running, are located right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and they're fully licensed and insured, and they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, help you and your family with all your heating and cooling needs. So if you're looking for a company you can trust, give Joe a call today at Keep It Running Heating and Air, 615-962-2397. That's 615-962-2397. Now, you can visit their website, too, at www.keepitrunningheatingandcooling.com. And you can catch them on Facebook as well. Look him up on Facebook. I think he had a picture of him in there. His wife, Melissa, I think, probably took that. And they're going to do great at this thing, and they are hitting a business that is really, because this county, Rob, what we're here to talk about tonight is growing. Rob, these two families I just mentioned, with Carrie and her son and Carrie's parents, these folks here, these are the people that keep Rutherford County running.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not me, it's not you, but it's them.
Yeah.
That do the working and the buying and the selling and the paying of the bills. They do it. And without them, there would be no Rutherford County.
That's
would
right.
Be the success we've had. And I want you to check these people out, please. Give Joe and Melissa a call. Again, that's 615-962-2397. Okay. Now, we're going to get on with this. Rob, I'm not going to get into who voted for what and all that. This thing passed like 13-8. We had some division with the commission over it, and you made a statement, and I'm not going to get into all this. You know what you said. But one thing you said, we can no longer turn a blind eye to the waste of our hard-earned resources. It's time to confront this matter head-on and begin the necessary changes. We must meticulously scrutinize every dollar, identify and eliminate duplication of services, and streamline operations to restore fiscal prudence. Now, a lot of us don't know what you're talking about with that statement.
And most people won't.
Right.
They
Yeah.
really won't.
Because we're not involved in government.
No, you don't see it. You're not up close
Sure.
with it. You don't work with it every day.
Sure. What were you talking about there? Can you be somewhat more specific?
I think the time is, and I've spoken with several county commissioners about it, is that we're going to start working together to look at how we do business, how we actually operate the business of government in Rutherford County. There's structurally things that we can do that will make sense. They will make certain processes more transparent. There's always difficulty getting consensus when you have 21 people up there trying to work towards something.
Right.
But we have a good group of people up there, and I think everybody voted their conscience. I think everybody did what they thought was in the best interests of their constituents and Rutherford County as a whole. So I think it was a good thing.
Well, it says here in the article I guess this was by Scott Broden, I think. I'll stand corrected on it, but Mayor Joe Carr, our county mayor, praised all of the commissioners for voting their values and their principles.
Yes.
And they did. And, there's going to be some differences of opinion on this thing. I want to ask you something. Is this the largest tax increase this county's ever had of this type?
Yes.
In the history of Rutherford County?
Since 94.
Since 94. Okay.
We don't have records to go back further than that.
Right. Okay. But pretty expensive. Yeah. Right. So, he's on a $300,000 house will go up roughly $250 to $257, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers right off.
Right. Yeah.
I did the calculations, and I sent the calculations out to each of the county commissioners so that they would have that, because I figured they would get calls from their constituents, and I wanted them to have the numbers so they would, when somebody calls, well, if your house is this much, you're going to pay what you're currently paying plus an additional X amount a year, which translates to X amount a month. Now, regardless of how small that amount is, we must remember that there are certain citizens in our community that $20 a month can actually make a real difference in what they decide to buy.
It can, right. Yeah,
because
whether it be certain medicines they're required to take or need to take, or simply to buy food and formula for the babies.
And the reason why I can say that is I do the groceries.
Oh yeah.
A jar of peanuts that used to run $1.69 is now $1.99. There's no more peanuts in the jar. It's the same size jar, but the price went up.
Right.
Everything has gone up. Absolutely. We're not living in a vacuum. Everything has gone up in the world.
That's right. True.
It's gone up.
And COVID changed things immensely. Right.
So, we have to realize that the world that we're in, we have to realize that there are people that are locked into home payments because we want them to be able to own homes. People that own homes are better citizens generally than people that rent. Not saying that renters are bad people, but it's like if you rent a car to drive to Florida,
right,
and you go to Avis or Hertz or Enterprise, you treat a rental car a whole lot differently than you treat a car that you're going to have to live with for the next 10 or 15 years and make the payments on.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
Just calling it like it is. That's the reality. There are some people that will rent a car and will treat it like it's their own, but those people are the outliers rather than the majority.
True. Right.
So,
yeah, but I had a friend of mine, and we were talking, and we were at a meeting, and we got together, and we were telling you that you were going to be on, and I said, well, what's going to be? I said, well, we're going to talk about the increase in this property tax. He said, oh, well, that doesn't affect me because I rent.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. This affects all of us.
It does.
Everyone that lives in Rutherford County, sooner or later, you will feel the brunt of this increase.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow or another.
It's
So,
I didn't realize I looked at the budget online. Of course, the one that I had access to is one from 2022.
right.
And it said we had a AAA bond rating from Moody's,
Right.
which was an increase. It said we had a AA plus rating from Standard & Poor's. So
Okay.
we have two different. Actually, Weiss is a third bond rating company, and they weren't mentioned in the report.
All
So
right.
I don't know what Weiss rates us at.
Sure.
They're generally harder than either of the other two.
Right. Okay.
But because there was some discussion about, we had a desire to maintain our AAA bond rating, which it's very important to maintain.
Sure it is.
I was a little bit confused when I saw that we had a AA plus and a AAA from a different rating service, and I wasn't sure if it was for all of them.
We're going to talk more about it when we come back. We're the Rutherford County Property Assessor, your Property Assessor, Rob Mitchell. We're going to go to our first series of breaks. Stay with us, folks. Back with you right after this. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, and we are back with your Rutherford County Property Assessor, Rob Mitchell. And we welcome your calls tonight at 615-893-1450. Well, Rob, with your questions, comments, or your thoughts, I think we have a call right now, I believe. Yes. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Mr. Raymer, how you doing?
Well, hello, Jeff Neal. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to ask Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, do you think if the I know the county mayor wanted to have an impact fee on new construction, home, apartment, and business, if the state legislature would have let us do that, which we know what they did, they wouldn't let us have it. But if they would have, do you feel like that it would have been, they would have increased property taxes, but by not as much a percent as they did, maybe half or a little less than that? You feel like it still would have been an increase, but not what they increased. I don't know how you feel about that. And also, I hope the chess program that you're going to do out on hope it goes well, and hope you guys have a great 4th. Don't blow anything up Tuesday. I'll see y'all. Thank you.
We'll try not, okay? We won't throw
Thank
any
you much.
firecrackers your way, Jeff. Jeff Neal, supporter of this broadcast, thank you so much. What do you think? Would you, coulda, you shoulda, all that?
Jeff, thanks for calling. I really want people to call in and ask those type of questions because I don't have an opportunity to talk to folks otherwise if they don't call or they don't send a text.
Right.
And let me preface it this way: the county, and forgive me if this is too long. Counties are given certain tasks that they are required to do. And in return for those tasks that they're required to do, the state of Tennessee grants the counties certain ways to raise funds to pay for them, for those services. What happens at times is when things are going well and you have plenty of income coming in, people say, well, gee, wouldn't it be nice to have this service, or wouldn't it be great to have that service? And the county commission says, we've got room in our budget. I think we can do that.
Right.
Given what we have. Well, then something out of the ordinary happens, and they've obligated the county to provide services above and beyond what is constitutionally required to be provided. Well, since the state of Tennessee is the one that has the authority to tell the counties what they can and cannot do, they have the ability to grant a waiver, so to speak, by a private act, which is what an impact fee would be. Now, we have the existing impact fee in place that was it $1,500?
$1,500. That's what it was when we built our house.
Right.
It was $1,500
Any
a year.
lot that has already been approved still falls under that. Anything that is new that's been approved falls under the school adequate schools tax. I forget the name of it exactly, which is $1, I think, a square foot, or $10 a square foot. Anyway, it goes into effect with that. It's school facilities tax.
School facilities tax. Right.
So
yeah.
we do have that, and that was passed 2 years ago. But it's only with the new lots that are coming online. And it also is used against the lots that are built in a city or the lots that are built in the county. So if you build a lot in Laverne, they have to pay, and it's new, they have to come on. So we do have that in place. Now, the builders really don't care if there's an impact fee. They don't like being blamed for problems structurally that are in government. Nobody does. And because they understand that if they're required to pay $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, whatever that number is, they're not really paying for it. They're simply passing it on to whoever's going to buy their property. When that happens, that raises the purchase cost of the property. So at reappraisal time, if the value of the property goes up, we're required by the state of Tennessee to appraise everything at its true market value and equalize the value across everything. So those impact fees that would have gone in place, in theory, have now raised the boat for everybody, so everybody's taxes go up. So you have to look at where and how we're spending our money, I believe, in order to get at the root cause of why we're having the tax increase. I hope I answered your question, Jeff, and you know, if anybody has anything to add or any other questions or comments, please call in or text to the station. But it's questions
Sure.
like that we have to have.
Hello, Carol Ann. Thank you for tuning in. She's in Chattanooga, and she listens every week. Got a note here. I'm sure they're going to raise it to the sky because they lack any imagination whatsoever on how to make newcomers pay for it. Comment, Rob? Newcomers, I don't know how we would do that. They pay property taxes like the rest of us.
That's a dangerous path to go down, but it's politically an easy one to use,
right,
and it's very effective.
Okay.
Yeah, politicians are very good at pointing blame without actually coming up for solutions, because they
right,
figured out if they can create a scapegoat that they can blame the problems on.
Yeah,
then
sure.
then they can go forward with that, and continue to do things the way they've always done it. So that's a popular belief, but that's really a misconception, because when you have a blank slate and you say, I have a blank, making a line here, here's my county,
right,
and it has nothing in it. But the state of Tennessee says, all right, you need to provide schools, you need to provide for general government, you need to provide for solid waste, you need to provide for courts.
Right. Law, your legal
Yeah.
law officers, SRO officers for the school. This goes on and on and on.
Well, so, yeah, the jails. So
Sure.
that's it. That's all you're required to provide. So
Right.
now you've got this county and you've got nothing in it because you're new. So what do? Well, you have the ability to raise taxes. So you tax the people that are there for their property. You borrow the money with a bond to build the things that you need, and then you tax the people that are there to pay the note. You buy everything on credit.
Right.
Now, if you're frugal, when you get your bills paid off, you can build a bank account up and you can pay cash. That doesn't happen in growing counties, because
Right.
the funds necessary will always require you to have to borrow money to pay for the expenditures. Even if, and this is, as you know, a developer is, when they come into a community, they're required to put in all the utilities.
Sure.
They're required to put in the streets,
Right.
and they have to build them.
That is not done by taxpayers.
No,
That's done. Yeah.
They do that. They also have to put in sewers. They have to put in water lines. They may be required to put in underground electric.
Right.
All of that they pay for, not the regular taxpayers. Your tax dollars do not pay for your streets in county government. That's paid for out of a fuel tax.
Right.
So, because I've had some conversations with some wheel tax, road board members, and they said, we don't have a problem. We don't raise any. The only concession to any tax that's done right here is for public works, which goes out and cleans out the ditches. He said, we got plenty of money.
Right.
We're not part of this. So the county road board is, don't want to put words in their mouth, but they're saying we're not the issue.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's important that people actually understand how the government works.
I was just thinking, a lot of us don't know how this works.
That's why you elect people that will tell you the truth.
Right.
That's.
And I know you study this. It's one of the reasons I have you on here 2, 3, 4 times a year, because I know you watch what's going on. Your budget has remained the same the last 2 years, hasn't it?
Pretty close. We've gone up slightly,
right,
but the increase in our budget is way less than the increase in the county budget. We just now broke $3 million.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
We've operated our office when from the rest of the county government was growing and adding more people, we actually cut people.
Right.
So we're doing more with 30% fewer people than we did in 2010. So it can be done.
Right.
But you have to be smart with how you invest the citizens' money. We've had, I don't know how many people have tried Smart Rutherford, but you can go to our website, which is rcpatn.com, click on After Hours Chat, which will be a little hyperlink over to the left-hand side of the page. It'll pull up a little box. You can key in your address. You can ask what your property value is. You can ask who your county commissioner is. You can now ask who your state representative is and your state senator.
Right.
And I want to give a shout out to Representative Robert Stevens. He actually interceded with the state GIS people so that they made it possible for us to have that information.
Right.
And he wanted it to be out there so if somebody doesn't know that they're now in his district, he wanted them to be able to reach out to him. And I think that's a great thing and really appreciate his help.
Now, what site is this? Tell people again. What site is
It's the Rutherford County Property Assessor site.
Okay, right.
Which is rcpatn.com.
Okay.
You can also access it on Alexa.
Right.
Just by saying, Alexa, open Smart Rutherford.
Okay.
And at that point, it'll open it up. It will take you through the steps. You can also elect to receive your assessment change notices by text or email. We're the only county in the state that does that has that option.
Right.
So since we put that up, the calls into the office have dropped off because people
can go online.
want to be able to find the information
Right.
from an authoritative source in an easy manner.
Right.
And I think it's important that we as elected officials look not at how do we make government bigger, but how do we make government more responsive and how do we make it serve the citizens better?
Exactly. Yeah. I was watching a fellow the other night just come to mind, talking about I don't know if you remember a fellow named Steve Bridgers. He did President Bush.
Oh, okay.
They made him up. It took about 2.5 hours to get him ready. And so, he did President Bush very well, but he did him in great taste, And the president always enjoyed it. He poked fun at himself, like the guy that put out the book with the Bushisms, Mm-hmm. And he did it at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I can't believe I actually said this. And it's funny, but talking about the price of a barrel of oil. Said, what are you going to do about the price of a barrel of oil? I said, it's awfully high right now. He said, I say we start using smaller barrels.
That's what they do at Kroger.
Yeah, but they raise the price even at that, you know. So, okay. I don't know. I just had to say that to sort of lighten things up a little bit. Folks, you're welcome to give us a call, 615-893-1450. Your Rutherford County Property Assessor, Rob Mitchell's here with us. We had some friends of ours years ago. Both of our fathers, my wife's father and my father, that worked at Life and Casualty Insurance Company, was a fine fellow down there. He and his wife, he was one of the vice presidents with Life and Casualty at that time. That's back when it was just good old L&C.
Yeah.
And in the, I'm sure, early 60s to mid 60s, they'd purchased a home out in not Brentwood, but one of the communities there in Nashville that wherever it was, I had it on the tip of my tongue, I can't remember. And as the years went by, they had 2 or 3 children and raised their family there, and this gentleman went up with the company and made a good living and all that typical American mom and pop story, in the 60s and the 70s. And I worry that we're getting to this point. They had purchased a farm just north of Nashville, up around Ashland City or somewhere. There's a little town up there before you get there. I can't remember the place.
Chapmansboro?
No, it starts with a P, I think. I don't know.
Pleasant Hill?
Maybe. I forget where it is. Up there, just north of Davidson County. But he and his wife, after they retired, they spent all their time there. Now, my wife and I had some experience in this because we owned property in Nashville, and many of you have heard me tell the story. We were bought out by the water service, water and power people. Anyway, the flood control people.
Yeah.
After the 2010 flood, had a big mess, and the Obama administration released a bunch of money and said, you've got to buy these places. They're in a flood zone, which we were. We carried flood insurance. And so we know what property tax is like down there in Nashville, in Davidson County. And finally, and I forget what their property tax had reached. It was, Green Hills. That's where they were in that area. I don't have to tell you that's
high dollar.
It's high dollar stuff. And it didn't start out that way, of course, but it was a very respectable area to live in at the time. And finally they got the kids together and said, look, me and your mother spend more time here at the farm. Then they had a nice house up there too. Like I said, he'd done very well. And said, we're just eating up y'all's inheritance by paying this massive property insurance. If y'all want us to keep the house, we'll keep it. If some of you want it. I said, no, we don't do that. There's no sense in that. And the kids were all set. They were in their 40s, I'm sure, or 50s, or whatever. And it's what we did with our parents' house. We sold our parents' house. We'd had it in the family for 42 years. But we had no need for the home anymore. Our children didn't need it. Their children didn't need their house. And I'm sure property tax on this house anywhere around probably at that time $10,000-$12,000.
Oh yeah.
And there's no telling what they are today. They said, kids, we're eating up y'all's inheritance. And said, we don't stay there anymore. Said, y'all come see us at the holidays. We're at the farm. My question is this: are we approaching that here in Rutherford County? Because I know we've got some employees that can't afford to live here. Do you see that happening in another 15, 20 years? Is that possible?
It's happening right now. There are people that can't afford to live in the county.
Right.
And they're going to Cannon County. They're going to Bedford County.
Coffee County.
Coffee County.
Sure. Manchester's a great area down there.
So, I mean, it happens.
Right.
Maybe
not on the scale that Davidson County has.
And Davidson County, by the way, has a AAA bond rating.
Right.
They also have debt larger than the state of Tennessee. So, go figure.
Man.
I mean,
yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know.
So having a AAA bond rating isn't the end all be all.
Right.
It really isn't. I know there are folks out there that will disagree with me, but
right.
Davidson County's got a AAA bond rating. Davidson County is, for my friends in Davidson County, both of you.
Okay. About the same here, yeah. Right.
That's nothing really to be proud of.
Right.
It's not. So we just have to be smarter with people's money.
Right.
We really, really do. It's easy to raise. It's politically uncomfortable to raise property taxes, but it's not hard to do.
No, it's really not.
You just do it, and then you're basically buying things with other people's. You're writing checks out of somebody else's checkbook.
Exactly. Right.
It's more difficult to fix the car that you're going to keep.
Sure. I'll tell you what I want to do. I'm going to go. Rob Mitchell's our guest tonight with us here at WGNS, and I'm going to go to our last series of breaks. Now, I want to tell you about a new sponsor I've got here, and it is Keep It Running Heating and Air. Now, I want you and your family, if you're looking for a local family-owned heating and cooling company, introduce you to Joe at Keep It Running Heating and Air. And right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. They're fully licensed and insured, and they're available 24/7 to help you and your family with all your heating and cooling needs. Now, we know that cooling is going to be a big issue here the next couple of months. July 4th is here. And give Joe a call. Now, you can reach him, a company you can trust, with Joe at 615-962-2397. That's 615-962-2397. Now, you can visit their website, check them out at www.keepitrunningheatingandcooling.com. And you can catch them on Facebook as well. Go on Facebook and check this new company out. They are geared up and ready to go. I got to talk to them over the weekend. I know these two people. I've had the privilege of, talking with them and getting to know them over the last several months. Give them a shot. I don't think you'll regret it. That's Keep It Running Heating and Air, 615-962-2397. Rob Mitchell's our guest. We'll be back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we are back with you for our last 15 minutes with your county property assessor, Rob Mitchell. Ted Cloud, hello, if you're out there. I just told Rob, Ted lives on a different cloud than most of us. Bless his heart. And again, I want to thank Keep It Running Heating and Air, Joe and Melissa, for advertising with us. Thank you all very much. You can reach them at 615-962-2397. Check out their website at www.keepitrunningheatingandcooling.com. You can catch them on Facebook as well, and they're going to do good. Rob, last few minutes, where do we go from here? Where do we go?
I want people to call in and yell at me.
It's time for somebody to call in and yell at him. Folks, don't use any foul language, but come on and call in and yell at
Sure, that's it. All starts with a discussion. But if no questions are asked, people are going to make decisions without knowing the real will of what the citizens want. That's why it's. I appreciate you having me up here. This is an opportunity to engage with the local community and to answer questions and kind of let the Wizard of Oz. Don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Well, I want to pull the curtain back and let everybody see exactly what's going on and how their government actually functions. If you ask me a question, if I don't know the answer, I won't make one up. I'll tell you, I'll get the answer for you.
He will tell you. That's true.
Yeah. But just call in and ask questions of us.
Larry Cawthorn, Jill Smiley, thank you all for tuning in. I thank you very much. Julia Fletcher, Gene Schmidt. Oh, Carol Ann, thanks again. I appreciate you all so much, and glad that we can be of service to you in this area. And this is something, it's something people don't want to talk about until the bill comes due.
That's it.
And we need to be talking about it more. Now, this is what you do. This is your business, and but like I was talking earlier, just like with Joe and Melissa and their new company here, people like Carrie Thompson and her family, these are the people that we're talking to. These are the people that make Rutherford County the great county that it is.
It is.
And it is a great county. Now, I don't know, I think Joe and Melissa may be in the county, I don't know, but Carrie and her family live here in the city. Didn't you tell me about 20% of our residents are in the county? That's
right.
It. 80% are in the 4 other cities.
80% live inside of a municipal boundary. 20% live in the county.
Yeah. School funding.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that money come from to provide for these private schools? And I know that's not your bailiwick. I understand that.
It's my understanding that with the charter schools, and I could be wrong because I really don't know.
Okay.
I was told or I heard that they have to arrange their own private funding to build the facilities, but the actual operational costs will come out of the per diem, the per child expenditures that are passed through. That's my understanding, and it could be wrong, but I was talking with somebody that was looking for a place for the charter schools to come in, and their comment was, well, we have the money to buy one, but we just have to find a place we can buy.
Right.
So from that, I'm taking it their organization is actually buying and building as a private entity an investment.
Well, if that's the case, what did they need? Excuse me. If that's the case, why did they need Rutherford County government to approve this? The school board.
That's a state law that if they come in, that the state said
my
that they would
question
have
was,
to,
if they
to
start
approve it.
doling out funds to them, how long is it before all of our other private schools, and we've got some good private schools here in this city, in this county, Providence Christian Academy and Middle Tennessee Christian being probably one of the biggest.
Franklin Road,
all
Lancaster.
of them. At what point do they go up and say, "Hey, where's our share?" And we're in a big enough. That's what we're talking about. We're in a pinch right now. We didn't need all this. I think.
Yeah,
that's me speaking as a citizen.
I'm not sure that charter schools, as I understand it, have to teach the same curriculum.
They don't. No.
They don't. Okay.
No.
So if they don't have, I have no idea. I would, if it was me, I would start signing up and saying my private school is going to be a charter school, unless they don't want to, unless there's some stipulations that come with taking the money from the taxes that puts them under some kind of government control, and they don't want to have anything to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Are you ready for a big July 4th weekend? You got the boat all fixed up? Wife
I don't have a boat.
Oh, well, I thought the wife would probably pull you. You'd be out there skiing in your
no.
bikini.
I'll be going to Rockvale. I'll be going to Rockvale for the 4th up that way.
What's at Rockvale?
Rockvale has their 4th of July. It's the oldest continuous running celebration of the 4th of July in Rutherford County.
Really?
And if you want something that's like going back into Mayberry,
right,
that's it. I mean, it is just a good old community get together, and they don't have fireworks. It's just an old-fashioned picnic where you come up that way and eat hot dogs and hamburgers and just have a good time with family.
You run out there with Pettis Reed and that bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With the dueling fans. I got a fan that says, "Keep Rob on the job." I'm going to whip it out and fan everybody.
Keep Rob on the job. Well, you do a good job, and your staff, we've mentioned them before, and of course, good friends with Russell Key and several other people that are in and out of there. You couldn't make it without them. I
No,
mean,
they do the work.
They do the work. They really do.
My job is just trying to see how we can make the processes better.
Right.
And a lot of that takes time because
Sure.
the decision makers are the county commissioners, and it takes a certain amount of time for an elected official
Right.
to gain the trust
Yes,
of the
it
county
does.
commissioners.
Right. And to talk with other county commissioners, not only here in the state, but across the country.
Mhm.
You know, and hey, what y'all do in this, you know, do you all have a convention where some of you meet? I mean, I'm sure you do here in the state.
They have the International Association of Assessing Officers
Right.
has meetings, the national conferences. I personally have not gone to one,
Okay.
but it's not saying anything bad about the people that
Right.
do.
Yeah, sure.
My personal belief is the people didn't elect me to travel out
Right.
of town.
Go to conventions.
They elected
Yeah.
me to stay here
Right.
and learn and work to make our community better. Now,
Sure.
I do attend some state meetings.
Sure.
I won't be going this year just because I don't want to go to Gatlinburg.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing against Gatlinburg. Just, yeah.
I mean, I've gone up there. There is usually very good information that comes out there, but
Right.
I can get all of that on a crib sheet.
Okay.
You know, so, but finding ways to do things better, that's really what my passion is.
I know it is. And folks, believe me, that it is his passion. It is. Because you constantly are looking not for the better mousetrap, but just, you know, look, and nothing underhanded or nothing like that. Here is a legal way we can do this. Here's a law that's been forgotten about.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case might be.
Well, one of the things, we lost $11 million in property taxes over the last 8 years. It just disappeared like it was never even there
Right.
because of the application of an appraisal ratio.
Right.
And folks, what that is we have a period. I know this is boring to everybody.
I know it is. Yeah.
But there's a ratio that's calculated that tracks the movement of property values at their assessed value and as opposed to their true market value over time. Whatever that percentage is applied directly to annually assessed property, which is utilities, truck lines, airlines, and all tangible personal property. Think Nissan. Most of the value in Nissan is in their equipment. It's not actually in their building. All of that will be reduced by anywhere from 15 to 20%.
Man.
For 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
As soon as we'll calculate a rate this year. If it was today, it would be roughly a 15% reduction.
Right.
So 15% of their property would just evaporate. It's like it's not even there to levy a tax against. Now,
Right.
what doesn't get levied on them, you and I pay for, because the county commission is still spending the same
Sooner
amount
or
of
later.
money.
Sooner or later.
They're spending the
Right.
same amount of money. They just have a smaller base to levy taxes against. So that's what happens. Those are some structural things that we can do, and I'm talking with some of the commissioners about moving to a more frequent revaluation, doing it once every 2 years.
Right.
That way you have a revenue neutral rate set once every 2 years.
Right. Okay.
And the second year, if you need to, you can raise it a few pennies. It won't be a huge increase.
At what point, and I know this has been batted about, and you and I have discussed this before, the discussion of becoming a metro-style government.
Sure.
Now, that's a lot easier said than done.
Well, you know, nobody wanted their kids to go to school year-round.
Right.
So you said you weren't doing it, but you kind of are.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You just tell
True.
you just do it, and you don't tell them that that's what you're doing.
Right.
In a lot of situations, that's kind of what we're doing here in Rutherford County. I think we're providing people services that would be more applicable to a metropolitan style government.
Right.
And
Okay.
if we're going to do that, I think transparency demands that we have that discussion with the citizens and actually say, look, if we're going to provide this is actually a metro service. Do you want to be metro?
Right.
Or do you not want to be metro? And let them very clearly say yay or nay.
Yeah. Put it to a vote.
You know,
What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages?
advantages?
Whatever.
The one thing that we must do a better job at is making sure that government is closer to the citizens, so that the citizens feel like they are engaged and government is something that they're a part of, which they truly are, rather than government is something that just happens to them.
Right. Right. Making them do something and you know, just, you know, send us your money. Don't worry about where it's going.
That's
We'll
it.
take care of that. You know, one thing that I know is affecting the larger cities, and this may have affected you during COVID, a lot of people went home to work, and a bunch of these companies, they didn't come back, that were renting massive office space. Those commercial buildings are in trouble right now. Now, I'm not saying that's the case here in Rutherford County, but we may have one or two that are, of where the employees went home and the companies, they were renting, the buildings are in, they're released.
Yeah,
And they're not renewing the leases.
That was a concern early on,
Right.
but that's kind of reversed itself. At least for Rutherford County, it's not the case.
Okay.
We didn't, with the exception of one company, State Farm.
State Farm.
They're
Right.
they're the only one I know of that sent people home and said, Shh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Right.
for reasons, I think, I don't have any proof to this.
Well,
but,
I think Verizon did it too.
Did they do it too?
Yes. Yeah. They
Yeah.
sent a lot of theirs home.
well, the reason that I believe that they're holding that property over there, and I have nothing to prove it with. I think
Sure.
it's probably a financial decision that they're getting a write-off of their taxes.
Oh, probably. Sure. Our guest tonight, Rob, thank you again. We're going to get out of here. Bill's out there. He's going to come in. Mr. Murfreesboro is going to come in here and do his show. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Ed.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a great 4th of July. Have a safe 4th of July. And I'll tell you what, till next Sunday at 8 o'clock, I'll catch you down the road. Good night.